Following the financial, if not critical, success of 50 Shades of Grey, a sequel was inevitable, especially with the books selling so well. It should also be noted that 50 Shades Darker and the third book, 50 Shades Freed, were released on the same day.
Really? I didn't realise they were released on the same day. I'm glad they didn't do that with the films.
It nearly did. 50 Shades Darker was released in February 2017, whereas Freed was released in February 2018, but that's for another review. Like 50 Shades of Grey, the film did very well financially, taking $381 million at the box office, despite once again being nominated for 9 Golden Raspberries, but only winning 2, Worst Supporting Actress for Kim Basinger, as well as Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff or Sequel. It missed out on Worst Picture to the Emoji Movie.
See, now I'd give that to The Mummy. Nothing will make me watch that again.
Where was the nomination for Rough Night? It was abysmal.
It's still not as bad as The Mummy, though.
Of course, if you want to hear my views on these and other cinematic releases, you can check out the above link for my quick reviews.
Okay, enough self-promoting. Let's get back on topic.
So Anne, you've read both sides of the story, the 2012 release and the 2017 release of Darker, Christian's side of the story. How do they compare?
It's funny. For this review, I decided to read Darker, only to realise I'd already downloaded it and read it. I'd forgotten I'd even looked at it.
Well, that bodes well. A quick recap. Anna meets Christian, they're attracted to each other but incompatible. She's curious about his kinks and ends up running away. Okay, without further ado, let's start the review. It's been an unspecified amount of time since Christian and Anna broke up. Anna has a new job as an assistant to the editor at Seattle Independent Press, Jack Hyde. Christian, meanwhile, is doing whatever his company does. The two meet again at Jose's photography exhibition, where Anna is shocked that there are 6 huge photos of her. Jose's reason for not telling her? If he'd asked permission, she would have said no. It's a rather troubling thing for a friend to say, isn't it? Christian buys all 6 portraits, and Anna agrees to just talk with Christian over dinner. After just one meal, the two are back together, but this time in a more vanilla relationship. Anna starts to learn more about Christian, letting her in on his personal demons, his past, and even the fact that he background checks all his subs, including Anna. Anna is horrified that Christian's sexual mentor and former dom Elena Lincoln still sees and does business with him. Christian's past also comes back to haunt him in the form of Leila Williams, a former sub who wants Christian back by any means necessary after her husband was killed in a car crash. She breaks into his flat whilst they sleep, smashes Anna's car, and even threatens to shoot Anna before Christian subdues her, get it, using his influence as her dom. It's even mentioned that Leila tried to kill herself in front of Christian's housekeeper, Mrs. Jones, who we meet briefly. Jack, meanwhile, starts to treat Anna worse after initially being really friendly. He starts to turn shortly after he finds out about Christian. Jack tries to force himself on Anna, who escapes and runs out crying to Christian, who promptly has him fired as he owns the company. Anna is suddenly given a chance as temporary editor, which Christian says he has nothing to do with, but Anna isn't so sure. Before long, Christian asks Anna to move in and then marry him. Anna says she'll think about it, which gives Christian time to go away on business by helicopter. The helicopter catches fire and crashes on the way home, and Christian is declared missing. The entire family is at his place waiting for news as Christian suddenly shows up, apparently not knowing why anyone is concerned. When everyone leaves, Anna says yes, and the couple announce their engagement at Christian's birthday party the next night. Everyone is happy for the couple except Elena, who tries to convince Christian to dump Anna. Elena is quickly told to leave after Christian's mom overhears the conversation, and then is cut out of Christian's life in record time. Christian proposes to Anna again, but this time with a ring. The fireworks go off as Anna says yes, and everybody celebrates. Meanwhile, in the distance, Jack burns a photo of Christian with his cigarette, looking like he's up to no good.
There's a couple of things I'd like to pick up on.
Sure, go ahead.
Let's start with that unspecified amount of time. Yeah, it's been a week.
What? The film makes it seem like it's been months.
There's a lot different between the books and the film. For example, business-wise, Christian is very diverse. His company works on projects such as creating solar panels for mobile phones to things like buying SIP. He's very philanthropic. giving away technology to developing countries, whilst also at the same time selling that same technology to more developed countries.
So he's a philanthropist?
Yeah, that too. It's also how he makes sure his subs don't take him to the cleaners. He background checks everyone. Anna freaks out at how much detail he has, including her bank details, something the film really glosses over. In that same scene, Leila is described as losing her husband in a car crash, with Christian ending it with her. The book is messier. Although Leila ends it, she marries, separates, goes off with another Dom, and it's the Dom that dies in a car crash.
Obviously, E.L. James is of the Fraser Crane mentality. If less is more, think how much more will be.
Speaking of more, in the books we get a lot more about Christian, specifically his staff that surround him. Roz, Andrea, Taylor and Mrs. Jones. The interactions give Christian character, whereas the film has them as really 2D characters, extras pretty much.
So, the equivalent of a cardboard cutout?
Yeah, probably.
Roz was in the helicopter, right?
Yeah, in the film she was a nervous flyer and anxious to fly over Mount St. Helens.
Incidentally, I think Christian heard the name Mount St. Helen and thought it was a challenge. Ha!
Fish fingers and custard. Anyway, 3D Roz is excited to fly over the volcano, and Christian has had the flight plan changed to reward her for her recent hard work, as she's always wanted to see it.
I'm with 2D Roz. I want nothing to do with flying in a helicopter over a volcano.
Finally, a minor quibble, but the photo of Christian's birth mother, or crack whore, as Christian lovingly calls her in the books, is described as a cut-down mugshot. In the film, it's just a photo of a young woman who looks poor, but certainly not a crack whore.
I mean, that's a lot of differences. Bottom line though, did you enjoy the film?
No, less so than the first one.
I agree. The pacing was an issue in the first one, and I think it's worse here. It's so protracted and unbalanced. Half of my plot summary was in the first 30 minutes of the film. The sex scenes are padded out and honestly just not as stimulating, with the exception of the pool table scene. I like that one. But, it's no Fake Taxi.
Fake Taxi?
Don't ask. We've spoken a bit about how different Christian is in the film compared to the book, but to give the film a positive, I like his character development here, and I think he's better portrayed by Jamie Dornan than the first one.
I agree. He develops more in the books, as they build more onto his relationships with his staff. Jamie Dornan is improved. Whether it's because he now has one movie behind him, or because he has more to work on, he's more well-rounded this time.
The same can't be said for Dakota Johnson as Anastasia. I'll be blunt, I hate Anna in this film. She's whiny, flat, and even manipulative in some cases. She forces Christian into uncomfortable situations by pouting or sulking. I honestly don't see what other characters see in her.
I get what you're saying, because, based on the film, I agree.
Don't say but.
However...
Damn it!
The books give her a lot more depth. You understand what's going on with her. She's fallen in love with this guy, but she has got no idea of how to be in a relationship. And she can't talk to anyone because of the NDA. She's confused, scared, and it's moving so fast. Within weeks of knowing Christian, he's asked her to marry him.
Oh, don't remind me. The only other character worth discussing is Elena Lincoln, played by award-winning actress Kim Basinger. The former Oscar winner for Best Supporting Actress in 1997 now wins a Golden Raspberry for Worst Supporting Actress 20 years later.
Elena Lincoln is a sophisticated blonde beauty, around the same age as Christian's adopted mother, but could pass as Anna's sister. Kim Basinger does not fit this description. Having seen Michelle Pfeiffer in Ant-Man and the Wasp recently, she would have been a better fit. Kim Basinger gives a flat, unemotional performance. The character is described as a passionate, confident dominatrix who is used to getting what she wants. But here, we don't get any of that.
Well said. I have nothing to add.
The last film won genuine awards for its soundtrack, didn't it? So, how does this one do?
One song won 3 awards. I Don't Want to Live Forever by Zayn Malik and Taylor Swift. It was the song playing when they were sailing the boat.
Oh yeah, that was quite a nice song as I recall. But isn't that about a breakup?
Yes. It's featured just after Anna and Christian say I love you for the first time, so it's played at completely the wrong time. It's like playing Hakuna Matata immediately after Mufasa's death in The Lion King. Oh, spoilers.
In summary, this film is worse than the first one. The source material is okay, but so little is used and so much is left out that it translates badly to film. 50 Shades Darker does nothing but set up the third and final instalment.
I get angrier at this film than the first one. We watched it together and many times I just asked questions and said stuff that to me made no sense or just annoyed me. 2 more hours, and the only good thing? This review.
2 down, 1 to go, right?
I'm afraid so. 50 Shades Freed is next, but I hear it's 30 minutes shorter. What could we do with those extra 30 minutes?
Fancy a game of pool?